Well, it's deja vu all over again, like Yogi Berra once said. Welcome back to Houston. Kendall Graveman, the first trade piece falls, and let's talk about this trade. And does this mean other trades are imminent for the Astros on this special edition of Locked On Astros?
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day, even at 3:17 when the Astros make a breaking trade. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me in Dallas at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Behind Enemy Lines, they can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive that I'm upset that I got rid of my Grave Encounters shirt. Always Stros.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and keep on subscribing. Go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and go ahead and become an everyday or somebody that listens to our podcast every day. And this is why we do it for y'all, just so y'all can listen to this breaking, exciting news. And if this is 3 days away from trade deadline and we already have our first trade, imagine what it's going to be like on August 1st. This is going to be exciting. It's going to be crunk. It's going to be lit. It's going to be everything above. And look, I'm excited about this.
Look, Eric, if this brings out the proper use of crunk for you, I am all for it, brother.
Yes. So for those of y'all that have not heard, it was, I think it was Ken Rosenthal said that the White Sox are talking to the Houston Astros about Kendall Graveman. And then Bob Nightingale said that the White Sox have traded their fifth pitcher, I think was the exact tweet or something. And right. The White Sox have traded Kendall Graveman to the Houston Astros. And it's like, wow, it's like 2019 or 2020 all over again, whatever year it was. And
2021.
2021. They came, Kendall Graveman came, Montero came as part of the Kendall Graveman trade. And so Montero was the one they held on to because he had a year or two of I think an extra year of control left. And now you have Kendall Graveman, who's coming this time, and he has a year control left. 2 years ago or whatever it was, he signed a 3-year, $24 million deal for $8 million a season. So that's making the Montero deal look a little bit bad, but he was the White Sox closer. And now he's coming back to Houston for not just this year, but next year he has another year of control. So this is awesome. Before we talk about what the Astros gave up, let's go ahead and talk about Kendall Graveman and what he brings to Houston Astros.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kendall Graveman has been really one of the better relief pitchers this year. He's got a .8 WAR. He's 3-4. He's with 3.48 ERA right now, and he's been in 45 games, has 8 saves, 44 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.205. He really has been one of the bright spots. I mean, they do have some pitchers that have arms and can do damage, and we know what Kendall Graveman can do. When he came here, he did really well. He struggled a little bit, but he did help us out. And when he left, I was surprised, and it's because the Astros didn't want to pay him. And I'll just go ahead and say it because I think it's kind of funny. It makes me wonder if when they got the Graveman deal done, and of course I don't think this happened, but this is just us imagining, being a little funny about it, if Dana Brown turned and looked at Crane and goes, the Montero thing was a classic rookie mistake as a GM. We get it, but this is the kind of money you give to a reliever in multiple years, not 11. And so hopefully they've learned their lesson. And I think Kendall Graveman is a great addition. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but it would have been nice to get him in a deal with some other people. We'll talk about that maybe in the last segment.
Brett, it took me a long time, but I did some artistic work, and I went ahead and put Kendall Graveman in an Astros uniform. So here's what he would look like in Astros uniform.
That's a great Photoshop, Eric.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
I
did a great job, right?
It's almost like you went back to the 2021 World.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Jeez.
Not only are we podcasters, but we're graphic designers. That's right. Great, dude. Good job. I didn't realize you had it in you.
I think his beard is actually a little bit longer now. I'll put his picture, what he looks like now up here as well. But definitely, I think his beard is a little bit longer and he looks a little bit different. Or maybe
there we go.
Beard, but dude, that's what he looks like now.
Hold on.
Up.
Dude, he looks like he's lost weight, like he's a little bit more fit, bro. Yeah, look, I think we're getting back a healthy, pumped up Kendall Graveman. I think when he came here, maybe if we get there, you go. Kendall Graveman coming back, I think is a great thing because he already knows the clubhouse.
Right.
It's pretty much the same cast of characters that were here when he was here, outside of, I guess, Verlander and Cole, really, the big names. But man, what a good first move. I really didn't think we would hear anything until like the day of the deadline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And so people are agreeing that's a great Photoshop. And so, but I think that this is a great trade.
Eric also has oceanfront property he'll sell you in Arizona.
Yes, for sure. And for those of y'all that haven't heard, that the White Sox have also traded Joe Kelly and also what's the guy's name? I can't think of it right now. The starting pitcher. Why am I drawing a blank? What's they made a trade to the Dodgers.
They gave up Joe Kelly and Lance Lynn.
I couldn't remember his name.
I was like, okay, good luck with that, Dodgers.
Yeah, but that's going to eat up some innings, and Lance Lynn is still a decent pitcher, and he sucks against the Astros typically, but
Dodgers, Astros, World Series confirmed.
That's what I said. I said that earlier today, but definitely. Yeah, so I put that. I don't tweet a lot, but I did put that out there. I'm like, oh, this means the Astros definitely going back to the World Series, and especially after getting Kendall Graveman, the Astros bullpen is taxed right now. They need another fresh arm, and now you got somebody with some closing experience, somebody that can set up, and I think that this will maybe expand the circle of trust for Dusty Baker a little bit, and maybe not rely on the same four guys all the time, because those four guys' arms are about to fall off. And so there's also a few guys that in the Astros bullpen whose contracts are going to be up next year. So this gives you another arm for 2024 as well. So definitely, I don't think that, I know Trevor Howard says, what about a lefty reliever? You got Parker Mazinski on the team. You don't need a lefty. You got Matt Gage down in
you hear that, Trevor?
A.
Hey, why you disrespecting the Texas Tech Red Raiders? Wreck 'em Tech, right? But hey, here's the thing. We actually have a White Sox fan watching, and he stopped by, and he wants to know about Korey Lee, I can tell you Korey Lee is the number 6 prospect in the Astros system. And this year, this season, he is actually hitting, let's see if I can pull this up, 283. His slash line is 328, 406, 734 OPS. He has hit 5 home runs. He's got 18 doubles, 12 stolen bases. And he doesn't just play first; he DHs. And they had him play first? I believe. I haven't looked at his game log this season, but Korey Lee
mostly catches and DHs, I believe. But
look, here's the deal: if we didn't have Diaz, Korey Lee would be up where Diaz is, and Diaz just took over that role. And before this season, Korey Lee was the catcher of the future. That's what they said last year.
Everybody thought it was his job.
Everybody thought. And look, Korey Lee, remember, Korey Lee started catching late in his career, I think. I believe it really caught on. So when he was drafted, he had a high upside, but they didn't know how high his ceiling was.
Right.
And so we've kind of figured out there are some people expressing a little disappointment having to get rid of Korey Lee. Some people say it might be a little bit of an overpay. But at the end of the day, he's not doing anything right now other than eating innings in AAA. And if you can get the right fit, the right part, like Kendall Graveman, you're going to have to do that. But also, if you want the right fit and the right part for your vehicle, you need to go to eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know that your part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game. And when you shop at eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to choose from. You'll be back on the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring a win when the right parts are guaranteed. So get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. And make sure that you are watching the game. The Astros play the Rays Friday night. That is actually tonight, 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros. You know, Eric, this is great. This is really fun to do. I've got to say this. I've got to brag because my son's team, they fought hard today. They got their first win in the tournament today. Phenomenal. It was a nail biter and put them into a good bracket. So we don't play till like 3:20 tomorrow, but these boys earned this win today. It was fun to go watch these young athletes, and we had some pretty cool highlight things. So it was nice to come back, decompress, and I'm glad we were able to get on this live event together.
All right, going back to Lee, he was the Astros first round pick in the 2019 draft out of California. But unfortunately, I think there was a head-to-head battle during spring training, and Lee was actually doing pretty well. But they could only have they knew that Martin Maldonado was going to get a lot of the starts this season because that's what Dusty does. So what they felt like was Diaz could come up and maybe be the better hitter, while they let Korey Lee kind of become the Astros catcher of the future and develop his catching skills a little bit better and maybe become a better hitter down in AAA. And so that's why they made the decision. Everybody thought it was going to be Korey Lee coming out of it. But Yainer Diaz kind of took with it. And so Lee did come up, I believe earlier this last season, he batted 160 in 12 games with 4 RBIs. He is on the IL right now with a oblique ailment. A lot of the Astros have had that recently. But last season, I do want to say that last season he did have 25 home runs, 76 RBIs. He did have a slash line of 238, 307, 483, 790. He does strike out a little bit, 127 strikeouts, but overall, I think he is a good defensive catcher. He's going to go out there and hit you some home runs once he figures out at the triple level. So, and Brian McTaggart says that the deal is official. So I think that is a great deal. If Diaz is your catcher, we hear that Martin Maldonado is training him, teaching him how to pregame. And I don't mean drinking. I mean pre-gaming in terms of like working.
Cobos Q.
No, not talking about that, but just working on how to prepare for pitchers. And we see Chandler Rome saying that the pitchers want to throw to Martin Maldonado, and Diaz is not ready yet. I'm doing all that because that was the exact tweet. So
look, I love that. Here's the deal. Cooper Media actually says, call up to AAA the next star catcher, J.C. Correa. Look, J.C. Correa, Eric, is having a great year. He is having a great year, and so I absolutely love that. That's super phenomenal. What is this? That's one hit guarantee. Oh, that was an old quote. That was from where'd you put that one up for? Did I do that?
Yeah, you did.
Oops. Okay, that was a quote from Alex Bregman. Sorry, that really threw me off. But JC Correa, I'll look his numbers up here in a second. But yeah, he is.
Don't forget about Cesar Salazar. He could be the catcher of the future too.
Eric, JC Correa will make it as a catcher before. I'm sorry, Cesar Salazar, love the guy. The pitchers love him, but right now, dude, he is I know lately he's been hitting. He's only hitting 223 on the season. He does have 3 home runs, but lately, let me see what I'll have to look up his game log. But last I checked, he was actually doing really, really well. So I think lately he's been getting a little hot. But yeah, they're probably going to call someone up to take his place. Yeah, he's actually raised his average quite a bit.
Yeah.
So this month he's been real hot anyways.
Yeah, Korey Lee has been among the top 100 prospects for many years now. This year's the first year, or I think last year he kind of dropped a little bit too. But he is the Astros' 5th overall prospect. And so I think that if Diaz is the heir apparent at the catching position, a lot of fans want it to happen now. I think it's okay to move somebody, Korey Lee, for Kendall Graveman. I mean, it's not a 1 year, it's not a rental. This is you're moving a catcher with multiple years of control left for a pitcher that is proven in the big leagues, and you can have him for another year for a relatively reasonable price with what you paid Rafael Montero. So I think that this is just a great deal overall, and I'm excited to see what else happens. But one thing that I'm not sure is going to happen anymore is Dylan Cease, because we saw the Lance Land and Kelly deal as a package deal. I mean, that I wonder if that means that the Dylan Cease deal possibly will not work anymore.
Well, this is my thought, because you and I had mentioned it pre-show, getting ready for it. This is what I think. Dylan Cease's price is so high that the White Sox would not be able to package him with another pitcher because of his 2 years of control. It might be an Ohtani-esque ask. So maybe that's hopeful. Like, look, we got to get something for Cease. Maybe that they've gotten rid of a lot of guys. Look, I mean, Korey Lee's not that big of a price to pay for Graveman. And the Dodgers really, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not super thrilled about Lynn and Kelly. I don't know, whatever. I guess that's an upgrade. I don't know. I mean, Dodgers pitching must be that bad. I think there's a lot of injuries on their end.
Right.
But here's the thing, Eric. If Dylan Cease gets done, oh my gosh, dude, all bets are off. Like if Dylan Cease comes here and then we're able to get another bat, I mean, or these random cryptic tweets from Julia where it's like, ooh, this is encouraging. Or has like the batting gloves of Michael Brantley stuck to the bat in the dugout in Oakland. Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
So I think we got 2 big bats back in Yordan and Jose. We can't forget that. Welcome back, Kendall Graveman. Super happy with it. I think this is a great movement. I think everybody here in the chat is excited, but you know what? We're not finished. I don't think.
All right. So if you're looking at the Korey Lee was on the 40-man roster, so you won't have to take anybody off the 40-man roster right now to add Kendall Graveman, but you will have to take somebody off the active roster. I know there are several candidates. No, you cannot take Rafael Montero off the roster. I'm just going to go and stop y'all right now. But somebody like Parker Maszynski or Seth Martinez. Seth Martinez, for the most part, has been pretty reliable this year in his role. His role is to be the mop-up guy, the guy that just eats up some innings, and he's probably just going to give up a lot of runs sometimes. But Parker Maszynski is a lefty reliever. He just got called back up recently. So one of those 2 guys is going to go down. If you had a pick, who would you send down?
Out of who now? Say that again.
Seth Martinez or Parker Maszynski?
The way Seth has dealt lately, I would send Seth down. I just, to me, I mean, giving up Seth has just been very inconsistent. Parker came back, and Parker's actually not pitched terrible this year. Right. He's not been great, but he's
got a 2.35 ERA with 11 strikeouts and 7.2 innings pitched. So
So I think someone like Maszynski, it would be worth their while to let him marinate a little bit against Major League hitting, because if you end up having to have him on the roster and he's there, you want him to have more experience than 7 innings, 11 innings. So I think you keep Parker, you send Martinez down. But you and I were talking before, the more I think about it, maybe because Martinez has trouble lately, Martinez might be that guy, but it might be Maszynski. It might be a seniority thing, who has more time right now. And that would fall under Martinez umbrella.
Yeah, not looking at Montero, because Montero is not going anywhere. But
he doesn't have any options. So
it's
like he would have to be DFA'd, and people are like, "Hey, DFA the guy."
But then you're responsible for that entire contract. So so Seth Martinez is 2-3 with a 5.31 ERA. He has 44 strikeouts and 40 2/3 innings. pitch. So his whip is 1.50. In his last 7 games, he has a 10.80 ERA. So that's not great. In his last 15 games, he has a 6.63 ERA. In the last 30 games, he has a 4.91. So he's been struggling for a little bit now. So I would say Seth Martinez would be the one to go down, but somebody's got to kind of step up and fit into that role. If you look at the Astros roster right now, you have a lot of 1-inning relievers. So somebody's going to have to kind of expand and be that multiple inning guy out of the bullpen. And Brian Abreu has done it before. Rafael Montero, I know that Dusty Baker's tried to do that earlier in the season, so I could see one of those guys doing that. But other than that, most of the guys in the bullpen are 1-inning guys.
And look, don't forget, Ronel Blanco's in AAA right now.
Right.
I mean, he's not on the IL, so he's a guy that when they need him to come back, he could even be one of these hybrid openers, 3-4 innings. I think, let's not forget, because I've almost forgotten about him because they kind of tucked him away. Maybe they're shelving him from Major League hitting for a reason. But I think with Blanco in there, I really think Blanco could have some key playoff innings, Eric.
Right.
I really do. And, this makes you wonder, making this move, does this make the move that Texas does something even more desperate? I love your friend Brandon, who you do Streaking Orange with. He said it would be good strategic move for the Astros to put out that they're the front runners for Justin Verlander just to throw off the Rangers, right? But, who knows? Dude, if JV comes back, I think the price for Cease would be higher than JV, but you're also responsible for a lot more money with JV. Yeah. So I think there's pros and cons to both.
I think the Astros and the Mets probably have a good idea of what it's going to take to make a deal get done at this point. The Mets are probably just looking for a better deal. So that's what I would assume at this point, because you would think that Verlander would like to come back home. He put it back on his little his header that says Houston Strong or whatever. So I think that this is a good deal for the Astros. I don't think they're done. They've addressed one of their weaknesses. Now they need to address a few others. They still need to get a starting pitcher. They possibly could get another bat, even though you just added 2 bats technically at the trade deadline in Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez. So, but it's how much of your future do you want to give up? But this is the Astros window, and you see the Angels knowing that this is their window to win because they don't know what's going on with Shohei Ohtani. He said he wants to stay next year, possibly, but if they finish out of the playoff race this year, he ain't coming back. I mean, loyalty aside, you can only play the Mike Trout card for so long and just not go to playoffs.
So, Eric, if let's just say Dylan Cease isn't available, but you can get Justin Verlander. I think adding Justin Verlander just gives you kind of that edge. To me, you cannot let JV go to Texas. Like this can't happen. And if it happens, I can't give that guy a cheer. I can't give him one single clap if he comes to Minute Maid in a Rangers uniform in a playoff game.
Right.
I can't. He's going to get booed. He's going to be go from hero to zero, like that. You know what I'm saying? But when we're looking at the trade market, they're asking about Stroman. They're asking about Bellinger. Someone said, do you think a Stroman-Bellinger deal could be done? Look, here's the thing. And Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but prices are high. They're not as high as I thought they would be, but they're a little over. So you're having to give up a little more than what you're actually getting. And look, MLB Network just did a feature on Chas McCormick in his development. Chas McCormick is by far your most valuable, most attractive trade piece right now. He doesn't get paid. He's got years of control, and he's a top 10 center fielder. And he can hit the ball opposite field. He can hit the long ball. So, Eric, do you think the Astros do that? Do they package someone like Chas McCormick? Would they have to package a Jeremy Pena? Would they have to package a Hunter Brown? You know what I'm saying? Would they have to put someone in there that you watch the trade happen and like you feel like your heart's being ripped out of your chest?
Probably. If you don't want to give up a lot of the prospects, and the Astros don't really have a lot of the big name prospects that a lot of other teams do. So you might have to give up somebody on the big league roster. In my head, Korey Lee fits that bill because on most teams, he probably would have been already on the roster because a lot of teams would have moved on from Martin Maldonado. But the Astros and the pitching staff really believe in what he does behind the plate. So, but who knows? I don't know if we're going to do another deal with the White Sox and I don't know if the White Sox are going to do another deal because they've already traded 5 pitchers. Like I said, Giolito,
they need somebody.
Lopez, Lynn, Kelly, and then Graveman. So they've already traded 5 pitchers. So they're going to have somebody come up and pitch. And so maybe Steve stays around.
Hey, dude, check this out. I want to highlight this comment. iChurch Cafe says, sorry for the constant joking. It is needed being in Ukraine, but love that I can catch you guys live if I stay up late enough and catch the Astros broadcast on the radio. You know what? Thank you for listening from the Ukraine. I mean, literally, you guys are going through it. So our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Thank y'all for late. We even had someone from Germany join us. Eric, we have gone global. Locked On Astros has gone global. And the global audience of Locked On Astros welcomes you back, Kendall Graveman. So glad to have you back in Houston.
So definitely looking at the future. I don't know what else Dana Brown has to do. I don't know what other things he has in the works, but I think it's awesome to see that he's not waiting till the last minute. I think that Korey Lee was a great deal. So
what do you think about Stroman and Bellinger? I think I asked you that, but kind of like I kind of put 2 questions in one. Do you think we could still get a Stroman Bellinger, but that would be too painful? Or
no, it can. I mean, I think that can happen. I think you can also get a deal done. Who's the guy I was just thinking of? There's some other starters out there that
you've got Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking about.
Hicks is on the market.
Arenado it has agreed to waive his no trade to the Dodgers only, and if he goes to the Dodgers,
who's that?
Nolan Arenado.
Oh, okay. When you sent that to me, I was like Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Nolan Arenado. Come on, Dodgers. They're trying to build a super team like they're LeBron James. Like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, you know?
Right. So, but I think Jordan Montgomery would be a good fit. He's not exactly the ace that the Astros would need. Marcus Stroman, if you can't get Cease, I think Marcus Stroman would be the next best get. I'm not saying that the Astros still can't work out a deal with the White Sox. I just think that somebody with that much control and that much ace potential, because it could be like we've talked about before. It could be like a Justin Verlander like acquisition. You might have to wait till the end. And a lot of people are asking about Max Scherzer. Why can't we go out there and trade for Max Scherzer? I think it's the same thing. Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander are kind of the same at this point in their careers. I would rather have Justin Verlander because we know exactly what we're getting basically from him. I think the Astros pitching staff, coaches know how to work with him, and he would be comfortable here. Max Scherzer, who knows what he's kind of, we know what his, the back of his baseball card says, but we don't know how he would fit into this locker room.
And hey, one more mention. We got someone from Taiwan, and I've seen Tim on here before. So we got Taiwan, we got Germany, we got Ukraine. So thank you for listening. Look, Eric, this is exciting news. I think the Astros made a phenomenal job here. It was like, oh, if Dana Brown would do something. Like, we need to exercise patience and levity, right? Like, not panic. We're only 2 games out. You know, remember this, the Rangers have scored 150 plus runs over their opponents, and they're only holding on to a 2-game lead. I'm not worried. I'm playing the long game here, and I fully expect the Astros to step it up. Jordan Alvarez and Altuve are back. We start a key series against the Rays. Thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. He's Eric Huysman. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse, all the way from the Big D across enemy lines. That's right. We're promoting this Kendall Graveman to Houston, and I love it. Let's go, Eric. And for all of us at Locked On Astros, make us your team every day. Subscribe to us, become an everydayer. And like always, right, Eric?
Go Astros. Let's make some more trades.